Among the planets of the solar system, there is one that reigns supreme among the usual celestial bodies. It is Saturn, a gas giant whose rings can be seen from Earth. Despite the distance between us and the Andromeda galaxy, reaching about 1.2 billion kilometers, this giant planet isn't just amazing for its rings. Yet despite its massive size, its density is less than that of water. This allows scientists to speculate a colorful model of Saturn floating in a giant pool. In one of the poles of the celestial body, there is a strange polygonal violent storm that causes much controversy. This and more required a more detailed study about it. Thus, in the year 1997, an expedition was equipped, whose results later shed light on many secrets of the distant planet. The Cassini spacecraft arrived interplanetary with the Huygens probes aboard. It reached its destination by the year 2004, and the station was packed with research equipment. And, among other things, Cassel was equipped with several types of spectrometers and a special camera for the magnetic field, and magnetometers and radars, in addition to the panel being equipped with several types of computers and a nuclear generator. Due to the distance of some planets from the Sun, the probe was not allowed to use starlight as a source of energy. How was Cassini's journey in stages? First, the station accelerated with the help of Venus, and it did so twice in the year 10,080 in 1999. Then the spacecraft orbited the Earth on its own.
My speed is 19
kilometers per second, and it left the near boundary, heading towards the planets Jupiter and Saturn. With a successful arrival, Cassini became the first artificial satellite of Earth there. The mission lasted 20 years and ended in September 2017. What did the device see and send during this period? It's surprising that no one doubted the mission would last a long time. No, in the year 1982, when work on the device began, during its launch from Cape Canaveral base in America in the year 1997, and not even after Cassini became a satellite in 2004, where it was originally planned that the spacecraft would stay close to the crowd until 2008. But the probe exceeded even the wildest expectations. Moreover, the decision to complete the project was made due to the usual fuel shortage. Almost everything we know about the planet now is thanks to the Cassini spacecraft. The first thing the device did was confirm one of the general relativity theories. The results were a delay in the signal and frequency drift when the probe was on the far side of the Sun. What are the other exciting details that the legendary space probe saw? Radial lines in the planet's rings. Ever since this phenomenon was recorded by the Voyager probe, Cassini has fully verified the information, where the lines appear as if they are tent-shaped, perpendicular to the ring layers. According to the laws of celestial mechanics, formations composed of small dust particles must collapse. But the lines
are still there, so they might be related to the planet's strong magnetic field.
It seems that some heavy objects on the planet. This brings out the appearance of these replacement lines. But it's impossible for mountains to exist on Saturn since it lacks a solid surface. The question will always remain: the storm on this giant. The next phenomenon that was closely studied is the hellish storm raging in Saturn's North Pole. Its appearance has the shape of a huge regular hexagon. It is 25,000 kilometers in diameter, and it's inexplicable. The probe transmits information about the storm's characteristics to Earth. It reaches a depth of 100 kilometers inside the planet, where winds blow here at a speed of up to 1,500 kilometers per hour. Interest in this structure intensified after Cassini provided its image, despite the fact that Voyager had already, before that, an unusual storm was observed. 20th century equipment did not here to display the vortex with sufficient accuracy. Therefore, it was only possible to consider it in its entirety. It's worth noting that the storm walls were completely smooth. In 2012, better images were obtained of the structure of a stable region in the chaos pole, where the photos were taken from a distance of 2.2 million kilometers. The orange day at the edge of rotation. Before Cassini entered an orbit around Saturn, the length of the day on the planet was only known approximately, but the spacecraft discovered everything for sure. We now know that the Saturn day lasts 10 hours, 45 minutes, and 45 seconds. And this is 6 minutes longer than previously thought. The epic aurora borealis, a phenomenon of this size, was recorded for the first time in the solar system, where the aurora surrounds the planet's massive poles, illuminating the connected Cassini ovals. Just like the ancient Chinese discovered, there's a fascinating truth that the stronger the solar winds, the more intense the effect. The clearer our rings are. Saturnian lightning. In addition to the auroras, Cassini recorded an extremely powerful lightning discharge on Saturn. It has been well observed, especially during storms, because in addition to the stormy hexagons of the atmosphere of the giant, hurricanes occur everywhere. One of them, for instance, looks like cigarette smoke from a distance. I also found Cassini, a short-lived storm near Saturn's equator. They were essentially a planetary-scale funnel with a diameter of 5,000 kilometers. Countless rings. One of the missions of the Cassini spacecraft was to study the mysterious rings around the distant planet, which has stirred the minds of scientists for a short while. It finally turned out that Saturn's rings are several heterogeneous formations, consisting of icy rocks and dust particles. The images captured of Saturn's rings, provided by the spacecraft, are currently considered from different angles. These are the most detailed images available. This shot illustrates the ring's structure from a distance of 1.8 million kilometers. You can clearly see the color variation and the difference in density. In this image, you can see that Saturn's rings are wavy. Of course, the information provided doesn't fully explain the nature of the phenomenon, but sheds light on the external types of what it is contained in circular formations. In 2009, the Cassini spacecraft made an exciting discovery, finding another ring that is the furthest from the planet. It's the Phobos ring, which has a diameter of about 13 million kilometers. Saturn is a planet that holds many secrets, but thanks to Cassini, many have now been partially solved. This is how the orbital vehicle saw the planet on January 2nd, 2010, using a narrow-angle camera from a distance of 2.8 million kilometers. At the time of taking the picture, the probe had about 7 years left before its planned end was clearly laid out, although it was possible that he could have died at the beginning of the mission when he was flying between the giant planet's rings. The rings look smooth from Earth, but in reality, if a shot the size of a house collides with the Cassini spacecraft, rushing at a speed of 110 kilometers, 110 kilometers, then the mission worth $3.4 billion will be completed in 1 second. Luckily, it was destined that the probe would function as a satellite for a much longer duration. The final event in the year 2000.
Break it apart.
Cassini's spacecraft flew between the inner ring of the rings, 22 times before it forever sank into Saturn's lethal atmosphere, which provides unique photos. What was the last picture taken by the kamikaze probe? And who did the Cassini spacecraft see before it plunged into the abyss, before the total loss of signal, which occurred at 2:55. On the 15th of December 2017, the device captured this image. One of the most important missions in the history of space exploration has ended, but we hope it's not the last. But more importantly, thanks to such an expensive mission, humanity learned a lot about the world surrounding Earth. I was fascinated by the northern lights at Saturn's pole and discovered more about its rings. If you're inspired by stories set in distant galaxies, check back on our channel. We have a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. And if you want us to continue, let's get 50,000 likes for this video. We'll release an awesome and new video immediately. So don't miss the chance and click on the like and share button below this video. Thank you for watching.